Most people completely underestimate how structured, strict, and surprisingly strategic it is to register a company in Kenya. And that misunderstanding is exactly why so many entrepreneurs either give up too early or walk straight into costly mistakes they never saw coming. And here's the surprising truth. Registering an LLC in Kenya is not just a paperwork exercise. It is a step-by-step legal process that connects government systems, tax authorities, identity verification, and business compliance into one unified structure that rewards accuracy and punishes guesswork. Now imagine this. Michael, a 34-year-old entrepreneur from Texas, runs a small logistics consulting business. He has been looking for expansion opportunities outside the United States, especially in fast-growing African markets. One day, he comes across Kenya, a country with a rapidly growing tech ecosystem, expanding infrastructure, strong financial services, and one of the most developed business registration systems in East Africa. At first, Michael thinks it will be simple. He assumes he can just fill out a form, pay a fee, and start operating. But then he tries to actually register a company, and everything slows down. He sees unfamiliar terms like a citizen, KRA PIN, Crone forms, beneficial ownership declarations, and compliance steps he has never encountered before. And within a few hours, he is overwhelmed. And this is exactly where most people stop. But what Michael doesn't realize yet is that Kenya's business registration system is not random at all. It is structured, digital, and surprisingly efficient once you understand how the pieces fit together. And that is exactly what we are going to break down in this guide. Step by step. Clearly, practically, and in a way that feels like someone is walking you through it in real time. But here's where things get interesting. Because before you even talk about registering an LLC in Kenya, you have to understand what an LLC actually means in the Kenyan legal system. In Kenya, what most people call an LLC is typically a private limited company, registered under the Companies Act of 2015. This structure allows shareholders to limit their liability, meaning they are only responsible for what they invest into the business. Now that sounds simple on paper. But in practice, it connects to multiple government systems that all have to align perfectly. And this is where Sarah enters the story. Sarah is a business consultant who has helped dozens of foreign entrepreneurs set up companies across Africa. She meets Michael after he spends 2 weeks trying to figure everything out alone. Michael is frustrated. He thought this would be quick. Instead, he is drowning in incomplete information, outdated blogs, and conflicting advice. And Sarah tells him something that changes everything. You're not just registering a company, you're entering a digital government ecosystem. Once you understand the system, everything becomes predictable. And that is the moment everything shifts. Because Kenya's company registration process follows a very clear sequence. And once you see that sequence, the confusion starts to disappear. But here's the first problem Michael faces. Before registering a company, you need a verified identity system inside Kenya's digital platform called e-Citizen Dint. And this is where many foreigners get stuck. Because a citizen is not just a website. It is the central portal for accessing government services in Kenya, including company registration, immigration services, and licensing. Michael tries to create an account quickly, but immediately runs into verification requirements. And this is where Sarah slows him down. Do not rush this step, she says. If your e-Citizen profile is not set up correctly, everything else becomes difficult later. And that is the first major insight most people miss. The foundation matters more than the application itself. Once the e-Citizen account is properly set up, the next step is name reservation. And this sounds simple, but it carries more weight than most entrepreneurs realize. Because in Kenya, your company name must be approved by the Registrar of Companies before anything else can proceed. Michael initially tries names like Global Swift Logistics Solutions. But he quickly learns that names must be unique, compliant, and not misleading in terms of business activity. And here's where things get interesting. Because name approval is not just administrative. It is strategic. The name you choose affects branding, approval speed, and even how seriously your business is perceived in formal documentation. Michael goes back and revises his approach. He chooses a simpler, more compliant name. And after submission through a citizen, he waits. And this waiting period introduces the next emotional challenge. Uncertainty. Because until the name is approved, nothing else moves forward. And during this time, Michael starts questioning whether he made the right decision. But Sarah reassures him again. This is normal. Every system has processing time. In Kenya, name reservation is usually one of the fastest steps. And she is right. Soon, the name gets approved. And now, the real process begins. But here's where things can go wrong very quickly, if you don't pay attention. Because the next stage involves preparing incorporation documents. These include forms like CRON, CR2, and CRATE. Now, instead of overwhelming you with form numbers, here is what they actually represent in simple terms. One form defines the company structure. Another defines shareholders and directors. And another registers official company addresses and compliance details. Michael initially thinks he can just fill these out casually. But Sarah stops him. This is the legal identity of your company. Every detail matters. And this is the moment where many entrepreneurs either succeed or fail. Because these documents determine ownership structure, decision-making authority, and legal responsibility. And once submitted, changing them later is not always easy. Michael carefully outlines ownership between himself and a Kenyan partner he plans to work with locally. And this is another key insight. Foreign investors often need local presence or partnerships depending on business activity, especially in regulated sectors. But here's where things get even more interesting. Because after documentation, Kenya requires something many people do not expect. Tax registration. Through the Kenya Revenue Authority, also known as KAA, every company must obtain a PIN number. This is not optional. It is required for banking, invoicing, and legal operation. Michael starts realizing something important. Every step is connected. Company registration leads to tax registration. Tax registration leads to banking eligibility. Banking leads to actual business operations. And everything depends on the previous step being done correctly. And this is where Emily enters the story. Emily is another entrepreneur who tried to shortcut the process in a different African market. She skipped understanding tax obligations early on. At first, everything seemed fine. But later, she faced delays opening a bank account because her tax records were incomplete. And that mistake cost her months of lost opportunity. Michael takes that lesson seriously. He ensures his KAA PIN registration is done properly right after incorporation approval. But here's where things get even more practical. Once the company is officially registered, there are still post-registration obligations. And this is where many new business owners feel blindsided. Because registration is not the finish line. It is the starting point. In Kenya, companies may need to register for VAT depending on turnover thresholds, comply with National Social Security Fund requirements if hiring employees, and register with the National Hospital Insurance Fund for statutory compliance. And if you are operating in a physical location, you may also need a county business permit depending on where your business is based. Michael starts to see the full picture now. This is not just company formation. It is a structured ecosystem of compliance and operation. But there is one more major step that often surprises foreign entrepreneurs. Opening a corporate bank account. Banks in Kenya require full documentation, including company registration certificates, KRA PIN, director identification, and sometimes proof of business activity. And this is where many people hit a final wall. But Sarah explains something critical. You don't solve everything at once. You solve it in sequence. And that mindset changes everything for Michael. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, he begins to move step by step. A citizen setup. Name reservation. Document submission. Data. 2. Approval. Tax registration. Compliance setup. Banking. Each step builds on the last. And slowly, what once felt like a complicated system starts to feel logical. But here's the deeper insight most people never fully understand. Kenya's LLC registration process is not designed to confuse you. It is designed to create accountability, transparency, and traceability for businesses operating in the country. And once you understand that, the entire system makes more sense. Now imagine Michael one final time. A few months later, he is sitting in a co-working space in Nairobi. His company is fully registered. His tax PIN is active. His bank account is open. And he is meeting local partners to expand operations. What once felt like an impossible bureaucratic maze now feels like a structured entry point into one of Africa's most dynamic markets. And that is the identity shift. From confused outsider to informed operator. From uncertainty to structured execution. But before we close, there is one final question that matters. What mistakes do most people make when registering an LLC in Kenya? And the answer is surprisingly consistent. They rush the process. They ignore digital setup details. They underestimate compliance obligations. And they assume it works like Western company formation systems. But as you now understand, it doesn't. It is structured differently. And it rewards patience, accuracy, and system thinking. So if you are considering starting a company in Kenya, the most important takeaway is this. Do not rush the system. Learn it. Follow it. Work with it step by step. Because once you do, it becomes one of the most accessible and opportunity-rich business environments in the region. And suddenly, what once looked complicated becomes completely manageable. If you found this guide helpful, and want more deep dive explanations like this, that break down global business setups into clear, practical steps, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Because the more you understand these systems, the more confidently you can move through opportunities that most people overlook. And now, you are no longer looking at Kenya's company registration process as a barrier. You are seeing it as a structured pathway into real business opportunity. And that changes everything.